I'm here in Melrose Arch for PwC's Tax Media Forum. With me, I have Gerald Soverall to discuss tax in South Africa. Gerard, what is an attractive tax regime?
I think an attractive tax regime is one which collects sufficient tax to meet all the social needs of the country, including investment, one which promotes economic growth, and one which, in some ways, the tax-paying public is prepared to adhere to. I think the South African tax base is relatively small compared to the size of our population, about 58 million people, more or less, and from an income tax perspective, no more than, say, 5 million or so people actually pay income tax. From an indirect tax perspective, which is VAT specifically, the base is much wider, and that's because virtually everybody in the country who buys any good or service, with the exception of certain zero-rated goods, pays VAT at 14%. The big issue that small business has is the capacity to manage the tax risk. From a collection perspective, a reporting perspective, it's difficult. If you can imagine as an entrepreneur, what you're trying to do is get your business up and running. You're trying to sell goods, sell services. You're trying to manage your cash flow, which is a massive issue for small businesses and medium businesses. And so the last thing you really want to attend to is some of the administration around tax. In the last, I think, 5 or 6 years, the government has tried to introduce simplification measures in terms of VAT and corporate tax and returns, but it's still proven to be a tough ask for small business to manage that burden.
How can tax promote economic growth?
My view is it's all about the incentives you give to small and medium enterprises and inward investment. We are, I think, a relatively wealthy country by most global standards. The question is how efficient are we at using the wealth that we generate? And I think the taxation system should be used to give relief to businesses who are looking to promote job creation and innovation. From a growth perspective, it is about attracting as much inward investment as possible and encouraging our own local businesses to take risks and to thrive. I think a better job could be done of explaining why we have taxes and the different types of taxes that kind of drive towards a system which promotes growth. With the best will in the world, I think politicians will, in the end, still make the call which they believe is right for the country. We're just hoping that with all the research that's being done at the moment around the taxation in South Africa, the importance of economic growth takes prominence in the decision making.
What does the perfect tax system look like?
You see, as someone who pays tax, I might say no taxes whatsoever. But as a responsible person, I expect there to be taxation because there's an awful lot of infrastructure, security, health, spend, which taxation is designed to meet. And quite frankly, we'd be a much poorer country in many ways if we didn't have a robust tax system. I think to me a perfect taxation system would strike a better balance between compliance and collection, and would also, in my view, promote entrepreneurs.